What is going on, guys? It's Knives here, and I quit my job. So if you've been following me on Twitter and Instagram, which you should be, my Twitter is @Tradition and my Instagram is @SidekickKnives, you'll know that I quit my job recently. In fact, my last shift was Saturday and it's now Tuesday. So I quit my job 3 days ago. Also, if you've been catching the live streams every night at 9 p.m, then you'll have heard me talk about this already, but I'm just gonna put it all out here in this video. So before I get into that, we're gonna spark up this joint and then we can start talking. So cheers, guys. Okay, well, I'll have to get a different lighter. Try again with this one. Cheers. So why did I quit my job? Let's go back to the start. If you've been following my channel for a while, you'll have seen a video that I made about 7 months ago now saying, I got a job. I was so fucking psyched about getting that job. Like, I was really, really pleased with myself. I'd not worked since January 2020. So when I got this job last year, I was super psyched. Not just because I'd got the job, like anybody can get a job, but the reason I was so psyched about this is because it's the first time in my entire life I'd walked into a job and been hired on the spot. Like, I did the same as I always did, went in there, gave them my spiel. I'm not very good at selling myself, but I pretty much just told them the truth. And they turned around to me and basically said, I mean, these are the exact words that she used. She was like, well, we both think you sound, so if you've got time, can you stick around and we'll just do you some training now? And I said yes. I jumped at the chance. They hired me on the spot. I started working then and there, paid training. You know, it was looking up. Everything was great. For the first couple of months, everything was going really, really well. I was making money. I was going to work pretty much every day, and it was mostly 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. shifts. But I had a lot of anxiety at the time, and I still do have a lot of anxiety. You know, you only have to look at me to know that. So I very quickly lost about 2 stone in the space of, in about 2 months, which is a lot of weight. It's for anybody who doesn't work in stone, it's about 28 pounds. There's 14 pounds in a stone, so like 28 pounds in the space of 2 months, which is a lot. And I didn't lose it in the most healthy way, because I had gone from doing basically nothing all day to working 8-hour days and half an hour to work and half an hour from work. You know, I went to doing a lot. And then when I started doing the night shifts, I would not be able to eat before work. So, you know, from about 7 p.m. till about 2 a.m, I wouldn't eat. And then I would just have a sandwich. And then from 2 a.m. till about 10 a.m, I wouldn't eat anything. I would have my pre-workout at about 5:30, and then I would go to the gym and work out, take my dog for a walk, and then come home and chill and then go to bed, get up the next day and do it again. And that was working for me. Like, the videos that I was making around that time, I had lost a lot of weight, I had gained some muscle, and I was looking really, really good, but I was so fucking depressed, man. And I still am, and I know that I would continue to be depressed if I didn't leave this job, basically. I went from doing no work at all, completely being on my own schedule, doing whatever I wanted, to working in the daytimes, 2 p.m. till 10 p.m, barely eating in this time. Like, when I got home from work, I wouldn't really be hungry. I would just kind of smoke a bowl and go to bed and then do the same thing. So, like, I was looking good and I was feeling all right, but when they started putting me on night shifts permanently, I went from doing like 4 or 5 shifts in the daytime a week to doing 5 shifts, 10 p.m till 6 a.m. 5 days a week with 2 days off. But the first day off that you have, you finish at 6 a.m, you go home and you go to bed and you sleep. Say you sleep for 8 hours. For example, I can't go to sleep as soon as I get home from a night shift. I have to just chill for an hour or so before I go to sleep. So I wasn't going to sleep until like 10 a.m. So if you're asleep from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m, then you slept throughout your entire day and you can't do anything for the rest of that day. Because I don't know about where other people live, but around me, most places close at 5 p.m. So if you need to call somewhere and sort out a bill, or you need to go and pay a bill or something like that, something that you can't do online, I couldn't do it, because by the time that I was up and alive, everywhere was shut. So I was getting nothing done, and I also felt like I was never resting. I was just tired all the time, and it was getting to the point where I didn't feel good anymore about it. Going to work and then going to the gym and then coming home didn't feel fun anymore. It felt like a chore. And then I started skipping the gym, and then I started skipping taking my dog for a walk, and then it finally got to the point where I'd get to work and I just wouldn't do anything really. And it all came to a head just before Halloween. I made a video around then, I think it was just before Halloween, called "I Haven't Been Doing So Well." And in that video I spoke about basically how I'd been feeling. I'd been feeling really shitty, and had progressively been getting worse and worse. And it got to the point where I had a disciplinary at work, because I had been taking the piss. That night shift I had swept and mopped the place and done everything by 2 a.m. So I kind of sat down and I watched, what did I watch? House of a Thousand Corpses. I just sat down and watched that movie. And it wasn't as bad as my boss said it was on the phone. Like, she rang me later that morning being like, basically, what are you playing at? Like, this is not on. And I was like, yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah. And then from then, this is all kind of tying into one, because I'd worn myself down and I was having problems with my teeth still, and I had just had my tooth taken out. I think this was around the time that I got the disciplinary. So I was feeling like shit, and I really should have taken some time off work, but I didn't know I was going to be getting this tooth out when it came out. So I really should have taken that night off, but I didn't. I went to work anyway because I was too anxious to call in sick, even though there was people that started there after I started that had called in sick, like literally in their first week. And yeah, I'd been there for a few months and I was still too scared of calling in sick. I'm the type of person where I won't raise an issue. I'll just keep doing it. I'll just keep trying to solve it myself, and I'll keep going and going and going until I'm burnt out and I fuck up and I do something wrong and it all comes to a head. Like, I need to start asking for help sooner, which leads me on to my next point. After everything had come to a head and my boss had called me saying that she was real disappointed in me and all that stuff, I told her, I was like, I need you to take me off the nights. I booked an appointment with my doctor. I take Metazepine because I can't sleep on a night, so I take Metazepine, it puts me to sleep. I was on 15 milligrams, but it started to not work. This was before, like, I was still using bud to help me sleep, but I wasn't using the medical bud yet. I was still using street bud, so it kind of wasn't giving me the desired effects. So it all kind of links in together. I ran out of my Metazepine, so I called up my prescription line and put a new prescription in, but I didn't have a chance to go and pick it up because I was always working or asleep during the time that the pharmacy was open. So it kind of all ties into one. I wasn't taking my medication, so I wasn't sleeping, so I felt like shit, and so I wasn't doing my job right. Where did I get up to? yeah, it all came to a head. I asked her to take me off nights after I'd spoken to my doctor, who upped my prescription, so now I'm taking 30 milligrams of Metazepine every single night to help me sleep. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, majority it's good, sometimes it just doesn't work. Hence why I also smoke a joint or do a couple of bong rips before I go to sleep. But yeah, I asked her to take me off the nights. Told her that the doctor wanted to give me a sick note, but I told the doctor that I would rather speak to her first, my boss. So we did that, and she took me off nights. I was doing one night a week throughout December, and then as soon as December finished, they started putting me back slowly onto 2 nights a week, which immediately, like, just doing 2 nights back to back, I could feel in myself, I just felt like shit and I couldn't do it. Like, there's no, like, it's such a shitty feeling to wake up in the afternoon, just in general, for me anyway. I don't like waking up in the afternoon. I feel at my best, at my happiest, and my most productive when I wake up in the morning. This could be any time from like 7 a.m. till up to like 10:30 is probably the latest that I can get out of bed and feel okay with it. I do prefer, like, it's really hard to be a morning person, and yeah, it's just really hard, but I do like being a morning person. I don't, like, believe it or not, I don't like staying up late, but for the life of me, I just can't go to bed early. I have the worst FOMO, even though, like, I know I'm not missing out on anything. Like, the only thing I'm missing out on if I go to bed early is feeling shitty and getting depressed. That's the only thing I'm missing out on, but still, I can't get myself to go to bed any earlier, which is why I started streaming earlier. I started this yesterday. I'm going to be streaming at 9 p.m. now instead of 11 p.m. because I do want to aim to be in bed by 1 a.m. which I could never do whilst I was still working, like, because I would go from, like, doing 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. shift, and then on the same day that I finish at 6 a.m. they would have me back at work at 4 p.m. and then the day after they'd have me doing a 2 till 10, and then the day after the 2 till 10 I'd be doing a 6 till 12 p.m. like 6 p.m. till 12 p.m. So, like, such an inconsistent work pattern led to such an inconsistent sleep pattern, such an inconsistent amount of rest, which to where I was finishing sometimes at midnight, getting home, sitting down on my bed, and, like, I would be convinced that I'd be getting light any minute, because in my head it felt like I had just finished a night shift and it was going to be light at any moment, but in reality it was like 1 a.m. which really, really fucks you up. Like, my circadian rhythm, my sleep schedule, just absolutely fucked. So it kind of all ties in together with, see, I know I'm rambling now, but I'm remembering different parts of the story, so I'm just going to keep going, and this is going to be a classic overshare from me, because I haven't done one of these videos in a while, and I've been kind of reluctant to make one because we've been growing. We're on like 725 subscribers, which is like crazy to me, but I don't know, I feel like people like watching me because I've always been sort of real and I've always sort of overshared, so why should I stop doing that now? I signed up for some bereavement counselling because I lost my mum almost a year ago on March 20th 2021 to cancer, which was and still is the hardest thing that I've ever been through, and I'm still going through. Like, it's so hard, and I sort of feel like as soon as I got this job, I told them, I was like, it's so fucking windy, bro. I don't know if you can hear that on the camera, if it'll come through or not, but it's so windy. I told them I would prefer more shifts over less shifts. If you've got them, give them to me and I'll do them. Now, this in my head was under the idea that I was going to be doing 2 till 10. Like, I didn't know I was going to be doing the night shifts. And then they threw me onto the night shifts and they started giving me, like I said before, 40 plus hours a week. So 5 days a week, 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. Where was I going with this? Yeah, so I was trying to work as much as possible so that I wouldn't be alone with my thoughts, because that was the worst thing for me. Those couple of months after she passed away is just being alone with my thoughts. But, you know, the pattern of night shifts and no sleep and no medication led to a lot of sort of breakdowns. Like, certain songs would come on at like 3 a.m, for example. This is gonna sound so stupid, but like George Ezra. Mum used to like George Ezra, so that Shotgun song would come on and I would have to sort of hold back tears, because even though I was alone, there was no customers, it was just me. I couldn't like sit there and cry because I looked weird on the security camera, so I just ashed on myself. It'd get to the point where I would be holding all these emotions in all night, and it'd get to 6 a.m. There's a 24-hour Asda across the street from where I used to work. I would go in there and I'd buy a crate of beers, and in the winter, the past few months when this has been happening, it's dark, so I would go to Asda, I'd buy a crate of beers, I would put them all into my backpack, 23 would fit, but there would always be one left, so of course I would have to drink that one. I would kind of keep it in my pocket until I crossed over the road onto this big field, which was pitch black apart from like a few spare like floodlights spotted sparingly about. So I would sit there and I would usually have my skateboard. So I would sit on my skateboard in the middle of this field, drink a beer, listen to the songs that we played at my mum's funeral, and have a little cry. And this happened on more than a few occasions. And it's just bad. It's not something that I want to keep doing. And if I didn't leave, it's just something that would carry on building and building and building. And I would just be overworked and overtired and emotional. I had my first bereavement counselling session 2 weeks ago on Tuesday at 10 a.m. and it was heavy. It wasn't fun. And I had to work the night shift that night, 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. and I couldn't really sleep that afternoon because I was thinking about it. And then I was kind of sat there alone at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, whatever time it was. It was early, and I think it was like 3:30, because there's always a lull between like 3 and 4:30 a.m. where people just don't come in. The world's like dead asleep. So I just kind of sat there reliving it in my head, upsetting myself like I do, not being able to let it out because I'm at work. And I bought the beers and I drank some of the beers when I got back, and I just felt bad, and I realised that I can't keep doing this. I need to do the counselling and I need to face my mum's passing away. Like, I can't even say death and that in the same sentence because it's too hard for me, and I need to be able to do that, and I can't focus all my attention on counselling and then go to work and have to hide it. You know, I need to feel my feelings, and I need to be able to sort of like, I'm never going to move on from this. This is always going to be something that's here forever. Like, it's never going to go away, and it shouldn't have happened. And I am only young, and my mum was only young. She was 56. But I need to work through it now, because if I don't try, then, I could get a new job and I could work myself into the ground again and have to start fresh, and I could keep doing this every day up until the day I die. Or I could try and sort of heal a little bit and live in the moment and try and move on, sort of. My counsellor said to me today something very interesting, and it's, we never heal from grief. Grief never stops. We're always grieving, but it's a choice as to whether you choose to stay hurting or whether you choose to heal from it. It's down to you. So I'm choosing to heal, and I couldn't do that whilst I stayed at that place, because that place was making me all kinds of worn out and just run down is the word. Just run down. So I need to give myself time to rest, for one, relax for a little bit, live in the moment. For example, today we went to feed the ducks with my sister and her little boy. We ended up not feeding them. We just kind of walked around the lake and played on the playground like absolute children. But it was fun. And whilst I was there, I remember I was sat. No, I wasn't. I had just given the baby back to my sister because we had been sat swinging together, and it was fun. If I was working still, I probably would have been at work today, be it daytime or nighttime. I would have been at work, and I wouldn't have been able to do that, and I wouldn't have been in the moment. She probably would have gone on her own, and I would have missed out on that. And if it takes me the whole year, if it takes me 6 months, couple of weeks, whatever, I need to live in the moment and do what I want to do, and just live for myself before I can go out and get another job. Because if I just go out and get another job immediately, I'm going to run myself into the ground again, and I just can't keep doing that to myself. I need to take care of myself, and that's what I'm going to do. And that being my first New Year's resolution crossed off, I can start to work towards the other ones. Number 2, coming up very soon, I'm starting the gym tomorrow. So from tomorrow, we're going to be tackling one of my other New Year's resolutions. I have a video planned already for, what day are we on? Tuesday. I have my video planned already for Thursday. Who knows? I might even go and film it after this. I've got my live streams coming up. I'm moving forward, and I'm trying to do it little by little so that I don't burn myself out. But we're getting there, and I know this has been a long, drawn out, very repeating myself sort of video, and I don't really do the I'm just going to put that down because it's gone. I don't do the sort of oversharing stuff that I used to do a lot anymore, because I'm not really, well, I say I'm not really going through anything at the minute, but I think I've just proved that I very much am going through something at the minute. But it's kind of just a continual, is that the word? It's continued on from what I was going through last year. Like, I didn't talk about it for a little bit, and I kind of made myself seem like I was happy and I was, getting better, because I thought I was, but the truth of the matter is I'm not. And I only really sort of let myself know that when it builds up and comes to a head. So I need to take time to feel my feelings and try and grow from them and learn, and all the kind of cheesy fucking nonsense. It sounds so cheesy and like sort of written on a poster that someone's like hung up in a therapist's office. It's like the dude on the phone is probably looking at the live, love, laugh shit behind his desk. Like, I don't think he is. He seems like a really chill guy, but yeah, I just need to feel, and I just need to live, and I need to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and take any opportunity that I can, and just spend time with the people that I like, Spend more time with my dog. That is another New Year's resolution. I'm about to go take him out now. But yeah, it's kind of all folding into one, and I can't really remember what I've already been over because I'm pretty fucking high. But the general gist is work make me sad, so I'd stop doing work and be happy instead. So if you listen to this very long-winded video, then thank you. If you liked it, leave a like. I'm going to take me a bong rip, then I'm going to go ahead and take my dog out, and then I've got to edit this shit, so rip. Cheers, guys.